Hi, my name is Terry Millican. I'm the County Extension Agent in Gaines County, and I've been asked to talk to you today a little bit about show day preparation. I have with me today Mr. Cole Jones. Cole has been showing for about 4 years, and he's from Royce City, Texas. And Cole, if you would, tell us just a little bit about what your typical show day, how it starts, and some of the things that you do on show day.
So typically what we will do is when we first get there, we will get them out with a halter and walk them around the area to kind of relieve stress, exercise a little bit, and to get them used to the area. And then what we'll do is we will feed and water and hay, and we'll go and then we'll go weigh them and check in and all that, and we will let them rest for the show.
Okay, excellent job, Cole. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here, and good luck to you this show season. Okay, and basically, folks, that's it in a nutshell. Cole did an excellent job. That's the basic things that we do at a show. I'm going to go ahead and give you maybe my show day preparation and the things that I do. We start our show day about 6:30 every morning. We get to the barns and we start trying to feed animals, and we start taking care of animals. The first thing that we do when we get there is we get all of those animals up. We halter those animals and we take them out and we exercise them and we walk them. We take them normally outside and give them just a little bit of fresh air for about 10 or so minutes, and then we'll bring them in, if it's possible, into the show ring for a few minutes and get those animals used to that area as well, as Cole said, to get them used to that and get through a lot of the things that they might see that might spook them throughout the show process that day. After that, we'll take those animals back to our pens. We'll weigh those animals, see where those animals are weighing, and that's a very, very important thing to do on show day. Here in Texas, we always turn our weights in, and so we have a 5-pound weigh back typically, and those animals have to weigh within 5 pounds of the weight that we turned in. So it's very important that we weigh those animals every time we get a chance so that we know where those animals are weighing in relation to our 5-pound weigh back. So once we have those animals weighed, we will get those animals, take those lamb blankets and covers off of those animals, and we will evaluate those animals on how they look that morning. We will see if those animals might look a little bit hollow or a little bit full, and we will feed and water accordingly. A lot of times in the mornings, those animals will be just a little bit hollow, and so depending upon our weight and our weigh back, we might feed hay or we might go ahead and feed some feed that morning. Then we'll also water those animals, because water is very, very important to those animals. It's probably the most important thing that we have that we can do show day, is to keep those animals hydrated and watered and keep that muscle fresh handling as we can. After we get those animals walked, weighed, fed, and watered, we'll hay those animals again, as I say, if we need to. Then we will, just as Cole said, we'll let those animals lay down and rest for the day. Cole hit it right on the head when he gave that first start off on what we do. That's the most important start for the day of any show. And then throughout the day, depending upon what time you show your animal, we will get those animals up of typically every 2 to 3 hours, and we'll check those animals. We'll water those animals again. We'll make sure that they stay hydrated and that they are handling fresh, that they're not stressing, that they're not losing some of their top, and those type of things. And we'll try to keep those animals in as good of health as we can and as fresh as we can during that particular day. As the day goes on and we get closer to our show time, we'll take those animals to the wash rack typically, and we'll wash most of those animals, and we'll get those animals clean, especially if we're showing black-faced sheep or fine wool crosses. We'll wash those fine wool crosses and fine wools. We'll wash those animals. South Downs we don't wash as often, simply because they just don't handle that as well, and we don't want to get those animals extremely white due to some classification potential issues that we have there. So we probably won't wash those South Downs as much as we do the other breeds. But we'll take those animals and wash them. We'll bring those animals back to our pens, and we'll start getting those animals ready to show. We'll do that typically, we'll get those animals up typically 30 minutes or so before we have to go in the show ring. We don't want to get those animals up too early, so those animals don't have a chance to get tired during the process of getting them ready before we go into the show ring, because as we know, many times at major livestock shows, these animals and these young kids can be in the ring up to an hour at a time, and so we don't want to have those animals up too early and get those animals tired. As we bring those animals back to the pen, we'll use towels and we'll dry those animals off. Then we'll start getting those animals and preparing those animals for the show. What we typically do is we'll get a wool card, and we'll card those boots out and fluff those boots and fluff the wool on those legs to make those look as full and as shaggy as we can, so that we have an appearance of a heavy structured, heavy boned animal. We'll do that. And as far as show day dressings, I personally don't use very much. I will use a mane and tail type conditioner to spray on those animals to keep that hide soft, to allow that wool to handle softer throughout the show. I'll also use a couple of other products, the waterless soap, the blue waterless soap. We use a lot of that show day as well to get those animals clean and to give those animals a fresh handle. Many times we use other products that are out there. Many of them. There's Silk. There's Freshen Up. There's just any number of products out there that you guys can use. I would just suggest finding one that you feel comfortable with and getting those animals to handle as fresh as you can and as soft as you can with that. After that, at that point, we'll take those animals out right before we go into the ring. We'll make sure that those kids can walk those animals just for a minute, set that animal up just for a minute to make sure he's pushing and ready to go in the ring. And then at that point, we'll send those animals to the show ring and just hope for the best. Once again, that's what we do as far as getting ready for show on show day. And so with that, I'll let you go.